Lately, have you been feeling like you do not want to do anything? Even though there are things that need to be done, your body simply refuses to move. Your heart no longer reacts to the things you used to love. Seeing themselves in this state, many people feel anxious. They wonder if they are just being lazy, and fear that if they continue like this, they will become useless. However, if you are currently in that state, it is absolutely not a mistake or a problem. On the contrary, you are standing at an incredibly important moment. This is because when the soul moves on to the next stage, we will inevitably experience a period of silent pause. The state of not wanting to do anything is not due to a decline in your soul's energy. It actually occurs when your inner world is undergoing a profound shift. All the energy that was once directed outward is now entirely focused on adjusting your inner world, causing the strength available for physical action to temporarily drop to zero. This is as if you are downloading new data sent from your future self. When your frequency changes, there is no need to force yourself to be active. By simply remaining still, your soul is steadily advancing to the next stage. Interestingly, this phase of not wanting to do anything inevitably comes to those who are heading toward a spiritual awakening. The reason is that awakening is precisely the moment when old ways of thinking and values are shed to make way for a new consciousness to sprout. Just like a pupa right before it transforms into a butterfly. Even though the outside appears entirely motionless, an immense transformation is taking place deep within. It seems as though you have stopped, but you are not stopping at all. Conversely, it is exactly because you are not moving that you are changing. It is truly such a magical period of time. In this video, we will carefully decipher the mechanism of the soul hidden behind the phenomenon of not wanting to do anything lately. By the time you finish listening, you will naturally understand what stage you are currently in and why this state is considered the right thing. You can just move at your own pace. There is no need to rush, nor is there any need to blame yourself. On the contrary, the more you embrace the silence right now, the more your vibrational frequency will be aligned, and the next chapter of your future will unfold smoothly. Now, let us explore the true meaning of this time that seems to be standing still, but is actually moving forward. Chapter 1. Absolutely no motivation to do anything. The soul switches to silent mode. Recently, you have not had a single ounce of motivation. Even when you want to try, your body feels heavy and refuses to budge. Your heart no longer flutters at things that should be highly enjoyable. Looking at ourselves like this, it is easy to blame ourselves for simply being lazy or mentally weak. In reality, however, this is a phenomenon known as silent mode, which anyone progressing towards spiritual awakening must undoubtedly go through. It is not that you do not want to do anything, but rather a massive energy conversion is taking place inside you, rendering you unable to do anything else. The stagnation on the surface is like a curtain hiding the evolution occurring within. Your inability to move is actually a perfectly correct state to be in. People will completely halt the energy they use externally at the exact moment their vibrational frequency undergoes a major shift. Just like when a smartphone's operating system updates to a new version, activities will automatically be restricted. Your soul also determines that internal adjustment is the top priority, and thus it shuts down your active energy. This is neither a regression nor laziness, but a preparatory task to move toward your future self. You may look like you are at a standstill, but in reality, new reality data is being rapidly rewritten at high speed. During this phase, the more you rush, the more miserable you will feel. This is because while your soul wants you to turn your consciousness inward, Your rational mind looks outward and urges you that you have to do something. However, what is truly necessary is the act of resting itself. Doing nothing is when the awakening progresses the fastest. By simply letting go of the guilt of resting, taking deep breaths, and allowing yourself to do nothing, your vibrational frequency will be significantly aligned. Furthermore, hidden deep within this period of not wanting to do anything is a profoundly important meaning. It means that old values and thought patterns have fulfilled their roles and are being released. The frequencies of "I have to try hard" and "I must do things properly" that you have carried for so long are peeling away, being replaced by a new, lighter energy. A lack of motivation is not laziness, but a harbinger of rebirth. And miraculously, after this silent mode ends, a common change comes to almost everyone. That is the sudden, natural welling up of a desire to do something from deep within the heart. This is not a forced motivation, but a true, powerful passion quietly rising from the bottom of your soul. This energy is the exact opposite of the lethargy you are currently feeling, giving you the sensation that a brand new you has just been born. Therefore, if you do not want to do anything right now, you do not need to blame yourself. That very state is proof that your soul is quietly advancing toward awakening. You may seem stuck, but you are undoubtedly moving forward. Please do not rush. Just peacefully surrender yourself to this silence. From here, your future will quietly begin to fall into place. Chapter 2. Not wanting to see anyone, just wanting to be alone in peace. The soul is blocking out external noise. Lately, talking to people feels burdensome. Replying to messages has become exhausting. You prefer to spend time quietly by yourself, rather than going out to meet someone. Seeing themselves like this, many people worry. They wonder if they have become bad at socializing or if their soul is gradually weakening. But in truth, this is also a typical sign of those entering a spiritual awakening. You are not avoiding people. Rather, your soul is blocking out noise from the outside world. This is a crucial period for dispelling unnecessary vibrational frequencies and making it easier for you to hear your inner voice. When the awakening process begins, you become incredibly sensitive to the energy of other people's emotions and words. Minor remarks or atmospheres that you previously ignored can now easily affect you, causing you to become drained without even realizing it. Therefore, the soul automatically issues a directive to be alone. That is not isolation, but an instinctive action aimed at prioritizing your internal reorganization. It is not your fault, but rather the silence necessary to protect your newly sensitive energy. Moreover, the phase of wanting to be alone is also when the soul is undergoing a reconnection. The more you come into contact with others' energy, the easier it is for your true inner voice to be drowned out, so your inner self is automatically creating a distance. This is similar to how you cannot see far when the water surface is muddy. In order for the soul to remember its original form, it is first necessary to stop the water's flow and let it become clear again. The time spent alone is exactly that purification process. And what is interesting is the change that many people feel after this period of not wanting to see anyone ends. That is the phenomenon where relationships that do not share your vibrational frequency will automatically leave, and only those who truly bring a sense of comfort will remain. You will no longer have to force a smile or try to act a certain way to be liked. Relationships will become simpler and more transparent. This is proof that your energy has been balanced, and a sign that your awakening has moved to the next stage. Additionally, as your alone time increases, it will be easier for you to hear the voices from deep within your heart about how you truly want to live and what you want to cherish the most. The intuition that was once overshadowed by busyness and social relationships will quietly return, and the core axis of your life will be automatically established. Therefore, if you try to socialize with people during this period, you will only feel more exhausted. On the contrary, quiet alone time is the absolute best environment to help nurture the beauty of your soul. If you currently feel like you do not want to meet anyone, it is not a regression. It is also not because you are being weak. It is a sign that your soul is preparing to reunite with your true self. The time spent alone is not loneliness, but a sacred process necessary for awakening. Please be at ease and cherish this silence. Behind that silence, your authentic life will quietly unfold. Chapter 3. Suddenly losing interest in the things you used to love, the soul's mission channel has been switched. One day, you no longer feel excited about a hobby you used to be passionate about. Your heart no longer flutters for the idle fandom activities you used to be engrossed in. Shopping or entertainment also no longer hold the same appeal as before. Seeing themselves this way, many people worryingly wonder if their perceptiveness has dulled or if life has become boring. But in reality, this is an incredibly positive sign. Your soul is conducting a frequency adjustment to step up to the next stage. There is a clear reason for the sudden disappearance of interest. That is because the process of learning and growing that you gained from that experience is already complete. When a person has finished the truly necessary lessons, their energy will naturally depart. Like gently closing a book you have finished reading, the soul will quietly let go of things that have fulfilled their role. Therefore, it is not that you have lost your passion, but simply that you have graduated. A necessary empty space is opening up inside you for the next journey. Everyone heading toward awakening will experience a period of emptiness. This is not a meaningless period of time. In fact, this is a preparatory phase before your true mission arises. By eliminating old interests, your energy creates a void to receive new inspirations sent from the future. If your old interests continued to linger forever, there would be no room for you to realize your true mission. Losing interest is the universe's signal of turning the page and saying, "All right, the next chapter is right here." And another characteristic of this stage is that you will feel extremely miserable if you try to force yourself to continue. Even if you try to find joy in the things that used to bring you joy in the past, the same old stimulation will not return. That is because your vibrational frequency has changed and is no longer compatible with the frequency of your past activities. If you keep forcing yourself to maintain incompatible frequencies, your mind will become restless, tired, and the feeling of discomfort will grow increasingly intense. This is a natural reaction of the soul to prompt the redirection process. However, this void of interest is absolutely not a negative thing. Afterwards, many people will be guided to a surprisingly new world. Perhaps new ideas will suddenly pour out, or you will naturally be drawn to fields you have always been curious about, or the choices that bring a sense of lightness to your soul will increasingly multiply. This is precisely the signal that the mission channel has been switched, marking the moment your true self starts taking action. Therefore, if right now you feel uninspired no matter what you do and your soul always feels empty, please do not worry. That emptiness is a beautiful sign showing that your soul is advancing to a new stage. Losing interest is not the end, but a premise for opening another door. From here on, the things truly necessary for your life will naturally begin to gather. Chapter 4. Not wanting to go to work, having no motivation to work. The quantum field is signaling a redirection. Just the arrival of morning makes your heart heavy. Just thinking about work makes your chest feel restless. Your footsteps to the company are becoming increasingly heavy. Many people blame themselves when they see themselves this way, thinking they are just making excuses or being lazy. However, if you are currently falling exactly into this state, it is perhaps not merely fatigue, but a sign that your soul is signaling a time for redirection. Many people on the path of awakening suddenly realize one day that the job they used to be able to do normally is all of a sudden no longer a fit. This is not because your competence has diminished or your motivation has declined, but rather, it is because your vibrational frequency has increased and no longer resonates with the energy of your previous job. If you stay too long in a frequency-incompatible environment, your mind and body will automatically feel fatigued or experience a sense of incompatibility, thereby trying to push you away from that place. That will manifest into the emotion of not wanting to go to work. In the quantum world, it is believed that we are always being guided toward the most optimal future. When your current job begins to deviate from that future, your soul will send out strong signals. An inability to concentrate, not achieving results, a lack of motivation. These are not failures, but a gentle guidance whispering that that is not the right direction. That is the very signal from reality meant to take you to the next stage. And the important thing is, if you try to go against this feeling of incompatibility to force yourself, your soul will become increasingly worn out. Constantly forcing yourself to stay in an energetically mismatched place will make it difficult for you to hear your soul's voice and cause you to drift further away from your intended trajectory. Conversely, many people notice their lives beginning to fall into place amazingly fast when they pause for a beat at the exact moment they feel they cannot take it anymore. This is because energy can be redirected back to the soul's inherent, rightful path. Additionally, during the period of not wanting to go to work, true desires from the depths of your heart will quietly begin to sprout. The aspirations you once tried to ignore or the emotions you have always suppressed will suddenly bubble up from within. Authentic inner voices like, "This way of working is not right, and I want to live this way instead," will start speaking up because they want to be noticed by you. The incompatibility with your work is also a sign that this authentic inner voice is trying to reveal itself. Therefore, if you are feeling like you do not want to go to work right now, please do not blame yourself. It is not an escape, but guidance from the soul. It is proof that your energy is beginning to move in search of its next destination. It is simply that your current job and your vibrational frequency are no longer a match. Not that you yourself are in the wrong. The feeling of not wanting to go to work is the redirection door before life opens up expansively. From here, you will quietly be guided to a future that truly belongs to you. Chapter 5. Suddenly unable to maintain a regular lifestyle. The soul has begun making rest its top priority. You can no longer sleep early and wake up early like your daily routine. House cleaning is stalled. Eating habits become disorganized. You cannot sustain vitality in anything you do, causing your living rhythm to be disrupted. Seeing themselves this way, many people often feel disappointed. They wonder if they have become undisciplined or if they have been too easy on themselves. But in reality, this is also a natural phenomenon that happens to those who have entered the soul awakening phase. Your living rhythm being disrupted is not because you are growing weaker, but because your soul is giving absolute priority to resting on a profound level. The awakening process is not merely a mental change, but a massive shift that alters your very energy itself. Old thought patterns regarding time, emotional rules, or unnecessary stubbornness and fears will be shed from within. and a massive amount of energetic detoxification will take place. During this time, if you allocate energy to external activities, the internal adjustments will not be able to proceed in time. Thus, the soul will be forced to shut down your capacity for action. This is the biggest reason why your daily routine falls apart. And importantly, even though your lifestyle appears chaotic, the inner world is actually being organized in a highly orderly manner. Staying up all night unable to sleep, or conversely, being so sleepy that you cannot resist it, are both proof that a process of energy reallocation is occurring. The days of being unable to clean dragging on are because a major cleanup is being conducted inside your mind. Because this is a period that prioritizes internal purification over external order, your actions only appear to be out of sync. Furthermore, in this phase, both your body and mind become incredibly sensitive. Sounds, scents, the presence of others, phone notifications, or even just trivial daily tasks can create far greater pressure than usual. This is proof that your energetic shield is thinning and your true self is gradually emerging. During the soul upgrade process, you need to reduce external stimuli and face yourself in a quiet space, so your capacity for action naturally diminishes. And another interesting point is that after this period of disrupted living ends, many people regain a surprisingly graceful life. As if reborn, cleaning progresses smoothly, your daily routine suddenly and naturally returns to order, and you will acquire a much healthier living rhythm than before. This is proof that the soul has completely shed all excess energy and fully transitioned to a new vibrational frequency. If you are currently distressed because you cannot maintain your routine, please do not blame yourself. Things being mixed up is not a failure, but simply the soul reminding you that now is not the time to organize the external world. Change is definitively happening inside you. When that process of change is complete, your lifestyle will automatically fall into place, returning to a state even more comfortable than before. A disrupted routine is a gentle signal dropping by on the threshold of awakening. Your soul is now quietly being reborn to become a new person. Chapter 6. Anxiety rises, but a whatever feeling also appears simultaneously: the molting of the soul. People heading toward awakening will certainly experience a somewhat strange psychological fluctuation. This is when a phase of heightened anxiety and a phase of feeling that everything is whatever appear at the same time. You might have just suddenly felt worried about the future, or developed an unfounded restlessness, only for your energy to deflate in the very next moment with the thought, "Oh well, whatever happens, happens," or "What is truly important anyway?" This feeling like the mind is split in half is a point that many people easily misunderstand. But in reality, this is a sign of molting, showing that the soul is shedding old values to transition to a new energy source. First, rising anxiety is a natural phenomenon that will inevitably occur when the old energy source is peeling off and falling away, when the mental ruts that once bound you, the roles others demanded of you, or society's "it must be this way" standards begin to collapse. The heart will temporarily lose its anchor. Anxiety appears because what you once believed in is now faltering. However, this is not a dead end. Rather, it is proof that your soul is letting go of unnecessary things to step into the next phase. On the other hand, the relaxed, whatever feeling appearing simultaneously with the anxiety is because the soul is starting its transition process into a new vibrational frequency. The things you used to fuss over no longer catch your attention. Your reactions regarding saving face and the judgments of people around you will gradually fade. This is not apathy or callousness, but a state where the soul is preparing to carry only what is truly most important. As the old energy contracts and a new awareness begins to rise in opposition, this feeling of letting go will undoubtedly emerge. The simultaneous appearance of these two contradictory emotions is very similar to the state of a pupa. Looking from the outside, it seems as though all movement has ceased. But deep inside, a spectacular transformation is taking place. The old shell is broken, and a new form is being constructed. It is precisely because you are in this transitional phase that your psychology oscillates between feelings of anxiety and comforting relief. Anxiety is the voice of the crumbling old ego, and whatever is the voice of the new self being born. The parallel existence of both is the very proof that the transformation process is proceeding very smoothly. Besides, there is another extremely important sign that appears in this molting of the soul. That is the restructuring of your values. Things you previously considered important suddenly fade away, and instead you begin to crave simple joys and inner peace. This is a natural change that happens during the process of your soul returning to its original self. Beginning to care more about the inner richness than the external world is proof that the awakening is progressing. If your heart is currently feeling restless and anxious, but simultaneously holds a strange, whatever kind of feeling, there is nothing abnormal about it at all. On the contrary, you are right in the center of the process of breaking the old shell to molt into a new person. A wavering mind is a sign that the transformation is progressing fluidly. These two currents of emotion do not come to torment you, but rather to push you toward a fresh future. Therefore, please rest assured, you are truly taking solid steps on the ladder of awakening. Chapter 7. The void to return to your true self when you feel you do not want to become anyone. You lack the ambitious drive to make your life better. There is not a single ounce of willpower to exert effort. Even the desire to become someone disappears. Seeing themselves this way, many people will feel anxious that they have merely lost their motivation and seemingly can no longer harbor any dreams. But this feeling is actually the very sign that the soul's awakening has entered its final stage. At this point, it is not a coincidence, but you are stepping into a period of emptiness to find your way back to your true self. Why do you feel you do not want to become anyone? That is because the illusions of playing social roles or the pressure of having to be something that once bound you are now collapsing, and the silhouette of your original soul is beginning to emerge. In essence, human beings inherently do not need to become anyone at all. We have lived unconsciously putting on masks, such as the good person, the results bringer, the expectation meter, and countless other things. But as the awakening draws near, those masks will become burdens and peel off. As a result, a void will temporarily be created, and there, a person experiences for the first time the feeling of not wanting to become anyone at all. This is not burnout syndrome or a feeling of helplessness, but rather the process of the soul stripping away fake personalities to return to its true original self. Having just broken the old shell, we still cannot clearly see the shape of the future. Therefore, we feel like we do not know what we want to do, have no motivation, and it seems as though all goals have vanished. However, this very emptiness is the necessary quiet space before new streams of energy rush in. Additionally, during this time, you will begin to seek inner peace over superficial successes. The soul will no longer flutter at the flashy titles or goals you once yearned for. Instead, genuine and simple desires like just wanting to be at peace and wanting to live without forcing it will arise. This is not a step backward, but a sign showing that your soul is returning to its most natural state. It is evidence proving that the preparations to stop being spun around by the outside world and to return to your own center are underway. And surprisingly, after overcoming this void, many people suddenly start acting in a direction that even they find astonishing. You do not have to forcefully try to create motivation. Rather, the flame of passion will naturally bloom, surging from deep within. It is a highly pure energy source connected directly to the soul, completely different from previous senses of purpose. Instead of a dream bestowed by others from the outside, the path born from your own inner self will begin to emerge clearly. Therefore, if you currently feel like you do not want to become anyone, it does not mean your life is stagnating. On the contrary, it is the final stage of completing all preparations for you to walk forward in life as your true self. Emptiness is not something to be feared, but a sacred time for the soul to be silently reborn. At this moment, if things are not yet clearly shaped, it is perfectly fine. Your soul is already placing its hand on the final door to move on to the next stage. Conclusion. Thank you so much for listening to the entirety of today's story. Surely you, who have watched up to this point, in some hidden corner of your soul, have constantly and quietly asked yourself, will I be all right? Is it okay if I keep moving forward like this? To a person like you, I have this one thing I truly want to convey from the bottom of my heart. You are truly a priceless, irreplaceable existence. More accurately, the very fact that you have always cherished and carefully confronted your heart all this time is in itself a testament to your beauty, your strength, and proof of your soul's gentleness. In life, there will be times when we cannot act as we please, or periods when we do not want to do anything at all. But that is absolutely not weakness or laziness. Just like what I have shared today, it is proof that your soul is silently shifting to a new path, a mark showing that your future is being restructured. Therefore, please do not blame your present self. The feeling of wanting to rest is not a bad thing, but an essential need. I would be very happy if you could feel even just a little bit that the very moments you cannot move are when a massive change is taking place where we cannot see. You have tried harder than you think. The insecurities you dared not tell anyone, the kindness no one noticed, the choked up nights trying to hold back tears, or the thoughts quietly kept to yourself. All of them are being fully etched into your soul. And they are absolutely not in vain. They are a precious journey that has nurtured your depth and warmth today. The person you are from now on can live more gently, be more of your true self, and can live with even more peace of mind. It is going to be okay. There is no need to rush, no need to compare, and no need to be in a hurry. As long as you keep moving forward one step at a time at your own pace, perfectly in your own time, just that much is already incredibly wonderful. Your soul is always guiding you to the most perfect shore. If today's story could gently accompany and comfort your heart, I would be immensely happy. Your future still has so many beautiful things waiting ahead. Please embrace that future gently and peacefully. If this video was able to touch your heart even just a little, a like and a channel subscription would be a huge source of encouragement for me. Furthermore, in the comments section, if you could write the words, "I have received it," I would be extremely delighted. Your comments will fill this channel with a warm light. Today, I am also incredibly grateful to have met you. May your heart from now on always be peaceful and gently protected. Please also get a very comfortable rest tonight. Well then, I hope to see you again in the next videos. From the bottom of my heart, thank you very much.